So, hello everyone, welcome to our webinar today where we want to get your taste buds tingling and your tummies rumbling, because I want to show you that when holidaying with P&O Cruises, there's flavours to explore and quality to dine for as well. So in this webinar, I'm going to cover what's included in our prices. And I think it's so important to talk about what's included in our pricing, because after destination, dining is one of the most important reasons that people choose to cruise. So I'm going to cover what's included. We're going to look at our speciality dining restaurants, and I'm going to cover what's included in those, the extra cover charges, and why it's important that you bring those to life. And then we'll look at our incredible food heroes who bring their expertise on board our ships to offer foodie experiences that our guests will not get on a land-based holiday. So how does all this sound? Give me those reactions if you are excited. Now, before we get going, I should introduce myself. If you're brand new to learning and earning with P&O Cruises, well, I'm Steph Adams and I'm proudly the training and engagement manager at P&O Cruises. And I'm joined by our lovely Angie Angelova, who is our training executive. So let's get going and let's get us feeling hungry. Now, to do that, I'm going to show you a short video of what your customers can expect on board. Let's get those tummies rumbling. Is everyone feeling a bit hungry? Angie, are you feeling hungry watching that?
Very, I've seen some of my favourites already.
Exactly. So that's just going to give you a little flavour of what we're going to cover today. Did you like that video? Let me know. Right, let's discover a whole world of dining that's included in the price of your holiday. And I just had to show this image because I just think this is beautiful, isn't it? On Iona, right at the back, one of the main dining restaurants, got those beautiful sea views and, sitting there, enjoying your dinner, watching the world go by. What could be better? So let's talk about what's included. And I have to head to our Freedom and Club dining restaurants, just as you've seen there. Now, these restaurants are open for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And guests can choose between British modern classics, and then we also try and inspire the menu as well by the destinations on their itinerary. But what do I mean by Freedom and Club? Well, you've got the two choices, and you as lovely travel agents, when you go to make your customers booking, you will of course choose between a dining time for 6:30, which is the first sitting, or second sitting, which is an 8:30 dining time. Now that is called club dining, and that's available on all of our ships except Iona and Avia. And this is where guests will dine at the same table with the same people every single night. So it's perfect if they want to make friends, share tales. And, if you've got groups going, you can twid the bookings together, link the bookings together, and then our families and friends can come together of an evening. So the club dining is where you will capture those dining times at time of booking. Alternatively, there is of course Freedom Dining, which is available on all ships. Now, don't forget with Iona and Avia, they are solely Freedom Dining, which is why the club dining options are not available on Iona and Avia. But Freedom Dining is available across the fleet. So this is where guests can use the virtual queues on My Holiday, Or if they don't feel confident using My Holiday, which is our web portal or our pocket planner, as we like to say on board, there is the pages available at the main restaurants and we can buzz them when the table is available. But honestly, the virtual queues work so easily. You can be sat in a bar having a drink, join the virtual queue, and it will give you a little notification to tell you your table is available. Now, freedom dining allows our guests to have that flexible approach to their holiday. There's no set meal times and they can just turn up to our restaurants between 6 p.m. and 9:30. Now, at Freedom Dining, you've got tables ranging from 2 to 8, and these are provided on a first come, first serve basis. And you can do this via the virtual queue. So if you make friends, you can join the virtual queue and you can join for a table the size that you would like. Now, freedom dining makes the opportunity to discover new friends or to dine as couples. So you can choose different size tables every single night and different times of dining, and you'll get different waiters as well. So if you want to get to know our fabulous crew, because that great service comes as standard, freedom dining allows that flexibility. So those are your evening options where you've got that club or freedom dining. Now, for other meal times, you can go to these beautiful restaurants for breakfast, and I love not rushing and having a nice, easy breakfast, having my breakfast served to me. The scrambled eggs are quite frankly the best scrambled eggs I've ever had. But you can go for breakfast and lunch, and all our guests need to do is look in the Horizon magazine that's delivered to their cabin every single day with the meal times, and they can either go and turn up at these restaurants for breakfast or lunch, or do as I do and join that virtual queue. So it's absolutely seamless. Now, I just want to point out what a sample menu looks like on board. And you can have the starters and soups, you can have one or the other, or you can have both. You've got the main courses, and then there is some gorgeous, yummy desserts as well, which come on a separate menu. But you will see there's a whole range of delights that our guests can have. You've got the home comforts there. Now, sometimes that home comforts also change out. When we're in destination, it might be a destination inspired menu as well. So we really do try and theme our menus, but also give an incredible amount of variety as well. Now, we'll always recommend wines as well that's served with the dishes of the day. But you will see on the right-hand side there that we also have some signature dishes. Now, there is a small charge, and this will just be charged to your customer's onboard account. But it's just if they want to have something different. So look at that seafood grill. Sounds absolutely delicious. Half lobster tail. You've got tiger prawns and a salmon fillet. £11.95. So if your customers want to enhance what's already an incredible menu, then they absolutely can. But let me tell you, you will never ever go hungry on board. So my tip is always get your starter and the soups as well, because they are fabulous. But what a great menu. And look, vegan, vegetarian and gluten-free options are available. And actually vegan and vegetarian options come as standard with P&O Cruises. So you can see that we denote that on the menus too. So how great is that? Now, I should also point out that in these beautiful main dining restaurants that you can have a celebration night menu. Now, celebration night is available in, again, the Freedom and Club restaurants, but it's just a really glamorous occasion. And what's so brilliant about Celebration Night is that one of our food heroes, Marco Pierre White, well, he designs a 5-course menu for our guests to be delighted with. Now, he's the godfather of British cooking. We've been working with Marco, if you can believe it, nearly 20 years. And Celebration Night is that real opportunity for our guests to get dressed up, feel special. It's classed as a black tie night, so they're going to dress to impress. But they'll go along to our restaurants and then have a menu designed by Marco Pierre White himself. And he does come on board as well. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But what an experience. And this is for everyone to sample because this is included in the price. So what I urge you to do when you are making a booking for your customers, of course, you've got to have that service-led question about the dining times in the evening. But really do think about Marco Pierre White's night on celebration night and quite how much is included because it just enhances that holiday excitement for our guests. So who's ready for a celebration night? I certainly am, and his menu is fabulous if I do say so myself. Now, if you do want a slightly more casual approach to your holiday, well, we've got some really nice, fresh and informal options too. Now, we've got everything from buffet to snacks in snack bars, out to the poolside grills. Our customers can dine basically whenever they feel peckish. So we'll head off to start with for our poolside snacking at our grills at the pool. Now, you can imagine it, can't you? You sat sunbathing and you feel a little bit peckish. Now, I always head to the pizzeria. Angie, do you head to the pizzeria as well? Yes, I know she does. We've been on the same cruise the last time, so we both were at the pizzeria there. But look, around the pools on all of the ships, you will be able to find the grills, and they can go and get homemade pizzas. So there's stone-baked pizzas, gorgeous provolone cheese from Italy, and a variety of toppings. So you can go and get as much or as little as you want. If you just want a slice and you can exercise so you can refrain yourself, is what I'm trying to say, then get a slice. I go and get a few because it's just so yummy. You can also go and get a burger, and we've got our very own special recipe for the patties, so it's exclusively for P&O Cruises. You can make a hot dog even more delicious with lots of different toppings. And you get chips and coleslaw on the side as well as all of your sauces as well. So if you want a yummy little treat, you want to go and get a little basket, you can absolutely do that at the poolside snacks. And for families and adults alike, it's grab and go, but it's all included in the price. So for me, I'm just looking at that variety and just wanting to eat all of it, quite frankly. But if you do want a little bit more variety, then you might want to head up to our buffet dining restaurants. Now, the buffet dining restaurants, again, included in the price, are a bit of a one-stop shop, if you like, for a casual option. And they're open from early right through to late. And when I say late, they're late. There's a late night snacks. And I think on our last cruise on Ventura, it was 11 till 1 a.m. So if you've got some late night tummy rumbles, you're not going to get hungry. But at the buffet dining restaurants, you can go and get breakfast. You can go and get lunch, afternoon tea. So some yummy sandwiches and pastries and cakes. There's a children's early tea that is served here. So little ones with their tummies rumbling from about 5 p.m. There's a children's tea. And that's great as well also for families that don't want to wait for a late tea for their children. They want to grab something else. But, you know, in the buffet, it is more casual. Children can have as much or as little as they want and have a little pick of anything they can. After that children's early tea, we go into our dinner service, and then there's late night snacks as well. So you're never ever stuck for options. There's a dietary counter. There is salad bars, there's desserts, there's hot and cold options. I don't know about you, but if I go to a buffet, I can't resist. I go and have a bit of everything. I do probably end up with a bit of a random dinner, but some people do manage to walk their way around and get things that are a bit more appropriate to have on each plate. But the buffet dining options are there. Now, the hours do vary across the ships and depends on what's going on. And there is some periods during the day that, of course, the buffet restaurants close, but that's just to set up for the next meal times. But don't worry, your customers or you, if you're traveling with us, are never ever gonna go hungry. I love the salads, the puddings. I think it's a bit of a law that you've got to have at least two per meal. But yeah, lots and lots of options. So you've got the main dining restaurants, you've got the poolside grills, you've got the buffet dining restaurants. But Arvia and Iona, I just need to point out, also have the Keys. And quite frankly, this is a brilliant place to go and dine. Now, on the Keys, this is a multi-dining piazza, and you've got hook, line, and vinegar. So you can go and get your fish, chips, mushy peas, your pickled onions, your gherkins. You can go to Fusion, and I love the chicken katsu curry served on noodles, but there's stir fries and things there as well. But the third option varies between Iona and Arvia. So on Iona, the third option is the Boardwalk Diner to go and get some burgers or southern fried chicken. But on Arvia, if you've got guests going, what says British more than a Sunday dinner, than a Sunday roast? Now you can head to roast and you can see here, you can go and get a giant Yorkshire pudding that can be filled with meats or vegetables of your sides, of your choice. But you've got sides there of roast potatoes, stuffing balls, cauliflower cheese, gravy. It could not be better. And you've got these three options and you can go and grab whatever you like. If you want to have fish and chips and you want to follow it up by a bit of a roast dinner, hey, we're not here to judge. This is your holiday. But if you've got customers heading for Iona and Arvia, again, this is included in the price. Do point this out to your customers. Okay, now we touched on families, and I think it's really important to talk about family dining because there is so many options. And look, we can cater for every age, and of course, children are welcome to dine in any of the dining restaurants on board. I like to point out that buffet tea from 5 p.m. in the evenings in the buffet restaurant. But of course, the main dining restaurants are there as well. And, we can offer baby food that's on request, but you've got a child's menu here as well. Now, just something to point out is that we can offer hip and hip organic jars of food, and we can do stage 1 and stage 2. A variety of options from savoury and dessert options. Or we can puree and mash food from the club or main dining restaurants, and that is from the main menu only. Now, for baby food, do make sure if you've got infants, if you've got customers with babies traveling, make sure you add on that baby food on Polar Online as part of the special gifts process. Make sure you add that on. Special requests and gifts. It's very, very important. So we can, of course, feed our babies. But look at this brightly covered menu here. You've got the under the sea characters, you've got colouring and puzzles to keep them entertained as well. But if you look at the dishes below, we want to be able to provide healthy, fresh, colourful and exciting dishes for our children to enjoy as well. So I think looking at that menu, looking at the colourful menu, it screams that there's so much variety. So those are the inclusive options on board. And when we talk about inclusive, those are the ones included in the price of their holiday. And look, so many people are so happy with those options. When you think of a land-based holiday, how many of you get quite the variety of that with no extra cost? So I'm sure you can see we've got something for all ages and all tastes. Now, just the one last thing I should have included is that, look, we do make every effort to accommodate our guest dietary requirements where possible. And I did point out that we've got those vegan and vegetarian options included on the menus as standard, as well as gluten-free meals too. But there are other diets and allergies that can be catered for as well. So just let us know again through the special requests and gifts tab on Polar Online, and we can hopefully cater for your guests' allergy or diet that they have. So are you feeling hungry? That is what I'm going to ask now. Who's ready to explore? our speciality dining restaurants. Now, you're just about to get even more hungry. Now, before I get into quite the variety of the specialty dining restaurants, I think it's really important to point out that yes, some of these specialty dining restaurants do have an extra charge. But as part of our pricing structure, as part of the select price, we offer onboard spending money. Now, onboard spending money to people that have never cruised before can mean absolutely nothing. We give our guests onboard spending money so they can go and treat themselves. Of course, it can be used in the spa, in the bars, but for me, with dining being such an important reason that people choose to cruise, I think it's really nice to put in context when you are talking to your customers, if they've got £100, £200 of onboard spending money, show them the menus that I'm about to show you. And you're going to be able to download all of these specialty dining restaurant menus from Shine Rewards Club. So it's really important to bring that to life. We've also just launched those all-inclusive packages as well, and part of the package, along with the drinks and the Wi-Fi, is specialty dining credit. So again, what can they spend the dining credit on? Well, I am going to show you. Now, it's only appropriate I head for an Adams family favourite because Sindhu, quite frankly, is all of our favourites. Whenever my mum and dad or my brother and sister-in-law are on board, they're always messaging one of their favourite menus is in Sindhu. And look, Sindhu is all about delicate spices, contemporary Indian regional dishes, but done with a beautiful twist. So if you like a curry, you like a bit of spice, but of course it's done to the British palate, this is the place for you. Now, I love it. You sit down, the atmosphere is very, very intimate. The menu has just been refreshed, but while you are perusing that menu, you of course got your poppadoms with all of your chutneys and things. And then you can select off of this recently refreshed menu. Now, this is taking a full rollout across the fleet. So by the end of May 2026, so the end of this May, this menu will be available on all of the ships. Now, a three-course menu in here is £25. And let me tell you, it's the best £25 you will spend for a three-course meal. It's absolutely beautiful. For me, I absolutely love the Sindhu selection, the three dishes, but for me, the grilled tiger prawns to start with are just fabulous. And whatever you're choosing, you're getting breads and rices and lentils as well being served. So having a look on this menu, I'm hoping you can pick out at least one dish that is right for you. Now, to make this even more authentic, and that's what we're about at P&O Cruise, is being able to give those experiences you wouldn't get on a land-based holiday, we can also add more authenticity. Because if you can look at the chef's showcase there, well, how fabulous is this? Now, this is signature dishes that are bought from our Indian chefs on board. Now, there's a lot of Indian experience and knowledge. So the Indian chefs all went into a bit of a competition to be able to offer their signature dish as part of our menu. And it is real tradition. So if you want someone who wants a really authentic menu, they can pick one of the chef's showcases. And what will happen is, depending on the ship that you're on, there'll be a separate card given to your customer with the chef's name, the dish, and the inspiration behind it. And again, it's something that you wouldn't get anywhere else. So how great is that? We can absolutely celebrate the talent of our chefs and delight our guests with this real authentic experience. £25 for three courses, delicately spiced journey through India. I think it's fabulous. Now, for something different, we will head to Epicurean. Now, look, dining experiences don't come finer than when you dine in Epicurean. And dishes are inspired here by British ingredients, but they're given a real modern twist by expert chefs. And you can already see how elegant the venues are with that crisp white tablecloth, flawless service, elegant surroundings. You've got some sea views and, of course, fine wines as well. Now, at Epicurean, we use the finest produce and we present the dishes just beautifully with just perfect skill. Now, with Epicurean, we always say that our guests go to this restaurant for a dining experience rather than just going for dinner. So when you dine at Epicurean, you're there for a good couple of hours. It's not rushed. You've got your amuse-bouche. You get palate cleansers throughout that come in all sorts of forms. I had a lollipop palate cleanser, which was fabulous on board. But it is a beautiful, fine dining experience. You get homemade breads and butters, and it is an immersive experience. For me, when the chefs come along and the waiters come along and they carve the ham on or they flambe the crêpe Suzette for pudding, telling the story of how crêpe Suzette was found, it's just a brilliant experience. So let me tell you, when one person chooses the crêpe Suzette and it's flambéed in front of your face, everybody in that restaurant is choosing that. Now, this menu is the new menu, and again, this has just been refreshed. There's over 50 new dishes to choose from. The set menu is £42, but it is worth every single penny. It's all about fine dining. Now, Epicurean is found on our larger ships, so you will find her on Azura, Ventura, Britannia, and of course our XL class of ships, Iona and Arvia. So anything that we would class as our larger ships, you can find Epicurean. So is Epicurean a bit of you? Let me know. It certainly is for me. If you're celebrating something special, I actually think £42 for an evening of fine dining. You don't get this by going to your local pub, do you? This is what you're looking for. Now, of course, if you want to be a little bit more casual, then we've got an informal speciality dining venue in the form of the Beach House. Now, it is part of the buffet restaurant, but in the evenings, it's sectioned off with waiter staff and dress tables, as you can see by the picture. Now, the inspiration for the food at the Beach House is Caribbean and South American flavours. So you get everything from the hanging kebab that you can see there, from cook your own steaks to chocolate fondue for puddings. So when you dine at the Beach House, it's all about those real hearty dishes and those comfort food favourites. For me, I love the Mexican fajita sizzlers. We love the hanging kebabs. And of course, you've got to go and have a classic banana split or that marshmallow fondue for pudding as well. Now, you can see here there is a cover charge, and the cover charge is around £11.50 if booked on board. But some of the dishes do have an additional supplement. So anything with an additional price on the menu, you'll pay on top of that cover charge. But if there's no price on the menu, then that's included within it. But a brilliant evening can be spent here. And I should just say that the Beach House is found on all ships except Arcadia. And the menus do vary by ship, but this just gives you a nice flavour and shows you all of the spices and flavours of Latin America and the Caribbean. But yeah, it's so impressive when you sit in there. Everyone's checking out those puddings. When the hanging kebabs come out, everybody is looking. But having a bit of a sizzle as well is great fun. So is the Beach House for you? Now, I think I sound like, well, I do just eat my way around the ships, but I'm going to take you to, quite frankly, my favourite venue on board in a little while. I thought that was coming up next, but it's not. I'm taking you to the Limelight Club first. Now, Also, a great option. Now, at the Limelight Club, guests will get cosy between the intimate low lighting of this venue. And here we're going to have some entertainment combined with dining. So it was a real first for us having a kind of supper club feel. But we get some of Britain's best loved performers from stage and screen, and they come and regale their tales. They might do some singing. They'll do Q&As throughout. Whatever their act is, they will come at different parts during the evening. And then, of course, our guests will get a beautiful three-course dinner. Now, guests can pre-book the Limelight Club on my P&O Cruises, and it's about 14 days before they set sail, or they can book it on board. But it's important that I just point out that it is an exclusively for adults venue. Now, we've had some brilliant occasions in the Limelight Club. Le Voir was just phenomenal. Four Puffs and a Piano I went to see, but my mum's seen Toyah Willcox. My dad loved Ray Quinn. And we've all really thoroughly enjoyed our evenings because, again, with combining with that dining option, having an act in there as well, it really did make for a fabulous evening. Last year, we took our agents on Shine at Sea and we surprised them with Arj and his band. And let me tell you, he had us all up and having a great time. Safe to say, he was a total hit. But look, we've got some favourites on here. Chesney Hawkes, Gareth Gates. And actually, you can find out the acts when, of course, they've signed their contracted on the P&O Cruises website. Now, the charge does vary. It can be anything from £35, but the cost does vary by act. And of course, you'll be able to find this price out, or your customers will, on my P&O Cruises. Now, I've got to take you to my favourite. I built it up. I forgot my slides, what order they were in, but I've got to take you to the Glass House. Now, have we got any fan favourites of wine? Do we like a bit of tapas as well? Do give me those reactions. Now, the Glass House is found on all of our ships except for Arcadia. Now, P&O Cruises food hero, Ollie Smith, specially curates a menu here for us. So if you like to try wine, if you want to sample the most expensive bottle of wine by the glass, you can do that. You can have flights of wine and feel like you've sampled all sorts of different regions. And of course, in the Glass House, you can pair your wine with the food that is served here. And this is a dining webinar, so I will talk less about the wine and more about the food. But it is the perfect location if you want to go and have maybe a bit more of an informal lunch, pre-dinner dinner. Go and have your dinner in here in the evening. And it's a real favourite. And you can just see on here the venue and some of the dishes that we serve. Now, we pair Ollie's wine with Jose Pizarro, who's another food hero of us. And he's a brilliant, acclaimed Spanish chef. And he brings on his real authentic tapas. And you can see there, 3 dishes of tapas for £10.50. We've got the jamon that is perfectly carved. You've got the patatas bravas, the squid croquettes with mint aioli. I don't know if I say that right. Mint aioli. Oh, it's just beautiful. And Jose Pizarro is very, very passionate about bringing, again, that authenticity to P&O Cruises. So he's got 5 menus, and the food that is served in the Glass House, you will find a lot of the dishes on his menus in his restaurants. So if you love tapas, you love pairing it with wine, then it's a must. And actually, £10.50 for 3 individual dishes, I think is incredible value. You can also go and get steaks. The slider burgers are very popular, but look at the prices on the screen that you can see there. Incredible value. But I have to point out the puddings as well. If you just want to go and have a bit of a wine, a bit of a sweet treat, then head to the Glass House. The British Retro Trio is quite frankly my favourite pudding on board. Arctic roll, a Bailey's chocolate truffle tea cake, and a Jammy Dodger cornflake tart. Is that a bit of you? Because it certainly is me. And you get all of those three puddings for 5.25. So, however you want to dine, it can be a real flexible, informal, fresh and fun venue. The Glass House has it covered. Get me back on board right this second. We haven't got any ships in today. I can't get on board and go for a cheeky lunch. Sorry about that, Angie. Now, how great are all of those options? But of course, I've got to point out a few venues that we will only find on Avia and Iona because of their size, they are our XL class, of course, built for freedom, variety, and innovation. They've got over 30 places to drink and dine. So I'm going to just point out a few of my favourites that are exclusively available on those XL ships. Now, who loves a gastropub? Well, the Keel and Cow has got it covered, and it offers a bit of a taste of home at sea. Now, at the Keel and Cow on the left-hand side of my screen here, you can go and have a casual breakfast, lunch or dinner. But what you'll find here is those pub classics, fish and chips, pie and mash, or the Prime Minister burger. And quite frankly, it's the best burger you will find at sea. But it's also served alongside a selection of British ales and beer. You know, with that Britain's favourite cruise line, we like to bring that through our food and our drink offerings. There's a dry-aged fridge from the open chef's galley as well that you can watch the chefs cook. But in those dry-aged fridge, you've got the steaks. We even got the tomahawk steak for two. Now, the menu in the Keel and Cow is also being refreshed. We like to refresh our menu, so guests that come back time and time again will maybe have something different. But look, if you love meat and you love seafood, the Keel and Cow is a great option. Now, it's not a cover charge, it's all priced per item, so it really depends what you have. But at the Keel and Cow, again, it's about offering real fresh food as well. So it's all cooked to order. So you may have to wait a little bit of time, and they always say that when they're taking your order, but it's cooked to order. However you like your steak cooked, they will do it there. So meat and fish options, Keel and Cow is the place to head to. Now let's go to the middle. Does this scream the Mediterranean to you? Because it absolutely does for me. And this is the Olive Grove on Iona. And I say on Iona because on Avia, you will also find the Olive Grove. But on Avia, the Olive Grove is a main dining restaurant. It's a freedom restaurant. But on Iona, there's a different menu. So if your customers want a taste of the Mediterranean, think grazing platters, pasta, seafood, kebabs and pizza, but served in a beautiful location. You've got desserts like tiramisu, Turkish baklava and a Sicilian lemon tart. Now, on Iona, I should point out, this restaurant is included in the price. But there are some dishes with a supplement, which is why I've put it in the speciality dining restaurant. I had the paella, my husband had the Moroccan tagine, but it was less than £5 for that option. So there are some dishes with cover charges, but you want to go and have the grazing platters, some seafood, some lovely, beautiful kebabs. It's included in the price. So it gives our guest, again, the variety that we promise with the XL ships. Now, the last venue to the right is a very, very unique dining experience. And on my last cruise, it was so good. I went 3 times, and Angie's nodding her head as well because we love Green & Co., which is exclusively found on Avia. Now, if you want blending the flavours of Asia, you love sushi and you like plant-based food, then this is found, and this has won awards, this venue. We've got the freshest ingredient from land and sea, and Green and Co bring you those plant-based options. But we've also paired up with Mizuana because they also bring in the flavors from Eastern cuisine and the sushi. And you can go and sit at this sushi bar here and have fresh sushi made for you. So you can go and get 3 courses in Green and Co, which is the plant-based options. You can have sushi as part of that as well. Or you can go and sit at the sushi bar, and the sushi chef will take you through a bit of a masterclass. They gave up with me trying to teach me how to use the chopsticks. I tried. I didn't want to offend, but it was fabulous. But that sushi bar sits 10, so you can nip in, get some sushi and head out, or you can have it as part of your dine-in restaurant. Now at Green and Co there is a set cover charge for 3 courses, but the sushi bar is charged separately. But it is totally worth a visit. Now I'm just going to get you to close your eyes because I'm just going to go and tell you a couple of the dishes that are my favourites. Now look, some of you, I'm a typical meat eater and I thought plant-based, is this going to be the place for me? The food and the flavours were incredible. So does kombucha infused beetroot with a white peach gel, wasabi pickled salsa, candied walnuts and a beetroot coral sound like a bit of you? It was beautiful. The cauliflower popcorn tempura I had every time I went in there. It was just beautiful. And I have to point out the pudding at the top. How impressive does that look? It's the chocolate earth plate, which we say looks too good to eat. But this is where you get 74% organic dark chocolate and beetroot pebbles, forest sponge moss, a beetroot gel, cherry chocolate toadstools, tarragon jelly fizz, chocolate soil, tarragon bark, and vanilla gelato is served with it. OMG. Is that a bit of you? Because it is me. And we talk about skillfully presented. You've got that sushi there as well. What a fabulous restaurant to go to, exclusively on Avia. So, whose tummy is rumbling right now? Mine is. I think me and Angie will go and have an early lunch. So look, those are what's included for a little extra. And it's about bringing that onboard spending money to life, bringing that speciality dining credit to life that's part of the all-inclusive package. But whatever your palate, whatever your taste, whatever your diet, your allergies, P&O Cruises has food covered. Now, the last thing I should just point out is our food heroes. And of course, we've talked about these fabulous gentlemen throughout this presentation. We've got Marco Pierre White, who designs the menu for us on celebration night. We've got Jose Pizarro with his tapas served in the glass house alongside Ollie Smith's beautifully curated wine menu. But why we have these incredible experts in their field is that we want to give our guests those absolute special moments and give them something different. And I think you'll agree, as we've talked about what they offer on board, it really can offer something different. Now, I should just point out, alongside the menu that Marco curates for us on board, he also does head up the Cookery Club, which is exclusively found on Britannia. So when he's on board, he will teach our guests in a full cookery club to dine. But that cookery club there is also run by executive chefs, so it's open on every cruise. But how cool is it that we've got the godfather of British cooking heading that up on our flagship? Now, when these incredible gentlemen come on board with us, they will do book signings, Q&A, cooking demonstration, wine tasting, wine pairing dinners. So they really love getting up close and personal with our guests, finding out what our guests love, what they can offer next. And if you are a foodie, P&O Cruises dining options are fabulous. Shall we see what the chefs get up to when they're on board? Let's bring it to life with our food heroes.
If you come on a P&O Cruises Food Heroes holiday, you've got the chance to taste wine with us, to dine with us, or just to hang out with us. Behind me you can see there's one of my wine taster dinners happening right now. I love it. A chance to meet the guests, make a recommendation paired with some of the greatest food on board.
It's about talking about the ingredients, talking about the food, the dishes, all the tapas. Of course, pairing with the best wine that you can imagine. This is pure hospitality. We are making people very, very happy.
Everyone loves chorizo.
Oh, spicy sausage, yes.
Salchicha.
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 So the idea of the wine list in the Glasshouse is that you can enjoy every wine by the glass, and we're showcasing the very best from all around the world. You have that pepper pot feeling of just loads of spice. But it's really about meeting guests. It's about exchanging views. I can host wine tastings, taster dinners, sign books.
It's all about sharing, sitting at the table, enjoy the food, enjoy the wine, and having the most incredible time.
I just love his passion. I want to eat his words.
Yeah.
I want to drink your wine, Ollie. Anyone say Thirsty Thursday? Fabulous. So they are our food heroes. And that, in a nutshell, is how your customers are going to come and they're going to eat, they're going to cruise, and they're going to love P&O Cruises. So I hope throughout this webinar I've been able to show you how much is included, and please do make sure you tell all of your customers what's included in the price. At P&O Cruises, we're all about the value, from the main dining restaurants to the buffet to the poolside grills. All of that is included. You, of course, then got those speciality dining restaurants that we're going to bring to life on board spending money. Do I get you to promise that you're going to bring on board spending money to life through dining? Give me the thumbs up. If you make a promise to me, you are going to take back bringing on board spending money to life with the dining options. Yes, you are. And then, of course, do talk about those incredible food heroes as well. Give our guests something different that they would not get on a land-based holiday.